Executive Director of Mikasa Resource Center. We are saluting Christine for demonstrating an extraordinary passion for her work, her family, and her community as well. She is not only very driven in her approach to getting things done, which she is. In fact, you can't say no to her. But she's also extremely diplomatic and has an incredible niche of bringing people together in an act of building concerns among a lot of groups to get things done. Indeed, we're very fortunate to have a leader like Christine here, leading the way and building a better tomorrow, which you're going to see more about that in just a minute for thousands of people. There's an old Chinese proverb about leadership that I want to share with you now. And it goes like this: if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help others. I draw your attention to the screens now, and I introduce you to Christine Marquez Hudson, who I think embodies that proverb very, very well. Mikasa is a place where thousands of Latino and working families come every year to get help starting a new life.
I think that the mission of Mikasa is one of the most important missions for our whole community right now. We have to make sure that people are getting the education and skills that they need to be successful in the future, not only for themselves and to their own families, but for our entire community.
Christine Marquez Hudson leads this organization, which has been around since 1976. But she didn't start at the top. In fact, it wasn't that long ago that she was teaching life skills to teen moms here.
And I walked through the halls thinking, wouldn't it be neat to come back someday as the executive director? But I thought that would be 20 years from now, not 10 years later.
She's risen to the challenge by taking a struggling 30-year-old organization and transforming its mission, its board, and building a solid financial future.
Christine is driven. She has a real gift for strategy, and she is a great facilitator.
We'll make it. So please have those help.
Christine guides people today by reflecting on the lessons of those who helped guide her in the past.
I owe it all to my mom and dad and my abuelito, who always teased me about being just like him, very bossy and mandona. And I guess those skills have come in handy over time.
Growing up as a kid, it was her family's dedication to helping others that inspired her personal mission to get back as an adult. And they helped shape the great leader that we see today.
And she's changing the lives of hundreds and hundreds of people through that organization, on an annual basis, and that's pretty incredible.
Leadership is about doing the right thing every time you have the chance. Making really, really hard decisions sometimes. Operating with integrity and working really, really hard.
Christine Marquez Hudson, the 2013 9 News Leader of the Year.
And if you do those three things, and you always have the good of others in your heart and in your mind, you'll be successful in anything that you choose to do.
On behalf of 9 News and the Leadership Foundation, it is my pleasure to bring this lady down to 2013 9 News Leader of the Year. Christine Marquez Hudson.
I'll try not to hyperventilate. And I have to wear my glasses. I didn't want to, but I gotta do it. Thank you all so much for being here today. This is truly one of those apex moments in a person's life that you savor and you savor and you look forward to, and then here it is, and you just try not to hyperventilate. I'm so honored to be here today amongst all of you community leaders. And of course, first, I have to thank the Denver Metro Chamber Leadership Foundation and Channel 9 for this immense honor. And of course, I also want to thank all of the very, very many special people who have been part of this journey with me. Of course, first, my incredible parents, Judge Lorenzo Marquez and my mom, Terry Marquez. My husband and chief cheerleader, Andrew Hudson. My son Nick, who I think is more excited about missing school today than being here for me, but thanks Nick, you're awesome. And our other beautiful children, Julia and Mateo, my wonderful sister and best friend, Justice Monica Marcus, and her partner Sheila. Olga Garcia from Denver Health, who nominated me, and all the people who wrote letters of support. Olga, you're the best. My many, many great friends and colleagues who are here today, and especially my unbelievable staff and board of directors who have stuck with me through this crazy vision, through thick and thin. Thank you all for believing in me, even when the going got rough, and believe me, it has gotten very rough sometimes. There's just one person, as the video implied, that I wish could be here today, and that's my abuelito, Jose Desiderio Marquez. Grandpa Joe was one of my role models and inspirations growing up. We all have them, don't we? The people whose shoulders we stand on. He was just a poor ranching kid from Antonito, Colorado, in the San Luis Valley, the oldest of 10 children, and one of the first in his community to graduate from high school. Grandpa always aspired to go to college. In fact, he shared with me that one day he wanted to be a dentist. But life just didn't work out that way. Instead, he had a knack for math and learned how to become a surveyor and ended up getting a job with the Bureau of Reclamation. Eventually, he worked his way up into a management position. My family and I spent many, many hours on the road from Grand Junction, where I grew up, driving to Santa Fe, where my grandparents lived, to visit them. On one of those visits, I distinctly remember, and Monica maybe remember this too, I was bossing you around, which I know how to do. And my grandpa, who loved to perch in his great big green vinyl armchair, started to chuckle. Abuelita, you're just like me, a true Marquez. You're bossy. And at the time, I wasn't sure if I should be flattered or offended, and it really stuck with me. But I think, in retrospect, that was my abuelito's greatest compliment. On the wall in this small office, which we converted into a bedroom when we went there for our visits, hung dozens of plaques and certificates and awards and pictures with presidents and senators and all this sort of thing. And I remember laying there on many, many occasions staring at those things, really not having any clue what they meant. And it wasn't until my grandfather had his 90th birthday, which we celebrated here in Denver, that I really understood the leader that he had been, the impact that his life had had, and the influence that he had over so many others. Several New Mexican elected officials traveled all the way from Santa Fe to join us that day. They presented my abuelito with awards for his lifetime of service to the state, the difference in the lives he made in all these New Mexican people, and for the mentoring he had provided to each of them. I have to reveal something here. My abuelito was a powerhouse in the New Mexican Republican Party. And we teased him all the time that he managed to produce an entire family of Democrats, but we won't get into that. I remember, though, standing there going, I had no idea that my humilde abuelito had this impact. I mean, I knew I went to a lot of meetings, but I really had no idea. And I thought, if I can just be one half of the leader that he was in his lifetime, that would be a great thing. Buen abuelito que está en el cielo. I hope that I have taken that natural trait of Marcus bossiness, and there seem to be others in the room who share that, and turned it into something that is great. The lessons that you and Mom and Dad have taught me, I've taken with me everywhere, and those are hard work, a commitment to absolute excellence all the time, integrity, and service to others. It has been a journey getting here today, and back in 1997 when I started at Mi Casa, just fresh back back from Costa Rica, I never in a million years would have thought I'd be standing here before you. That journey has been filled with many, many miracles, but many, many tribulations too. And my family was always there to support me. Because of them, I always wanted to dedicate my career to the Latino community. I just wasn't sure how I would do that. Mi Casa Resource Center has been a very special part of that journey for me. Today, we have the privilege of addressing what I think is one of the most important missions in our community. Not just for the people and families that directly are serviced by our organization, but frankly for the entire state of Colorado. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, 1 out of every 3 people living in Denver and 1 out of every 5 Coloradans is Latino. This population is expected to grow 29% per decade over the next 20 years. And by the year 2050, 1 out of every 3 American workers will be Latino. Unfortunately, despite many, many positive gains, our community continues to lag behind in poverty, educational outcomes, home ownership, business ownership, and wealth. And that's why Mi Casa is dedicated to working with our many community partners, so many of you are here in the room today, to ensure that Latinos and other low-income families have the chance, the dignified opportunity to obtain the skills, education, and support they need to realize the American dream. That's all folks want. They want to contribute to the economy and to our community. I am so excited to see that today, immigration reform is just around the corner, and we are working very hard for that. Because there are so many young people, like you've seen in these videos, who simply want a chance to contribute. I, in the meantime, am making sure that Mi Casa is ready for the long haul. And I'm thrilled to announce that today, one of the things that we're trying to do is launch our own social enterprise businesses. You'd think that an organization that has told other people how to start small businesses for 35 years would have our own. Well, we don't, but we're starting one. And this week we learned that the Tim and Bernadette Marcus Foundation has made the first investment of $50,000 to support our startup costs. I'm very excited. And what is that business? Mi Casa Talent Source, a staffing agency. So keep that in mind when you're ready to hire people. If my abuelito could have been here today, I know that he would have said, "He he he, mijita, qué bueno." I am so proud of you. Proud because, like him, I have the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of so many. Gracias, gracias por este honor tan grande. Thank you for this incredible honor today.